Okay, Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. We are, for the first time in my life, using a proper camera, high quality camera, and a mic system. So I want to thank the brothers who've been advising me, the dinosaur in me, in using technology. So, yeah, we're going to hopefully start using some high quality equipment to provide you with high quality content, inshallah. I've also got someone who's also high tech himself, Mr. Yasin Desai. He's much more high tech than me anyway. Um, and he's come on. So we're just having a chat, we're just having a conversation about technology, and he's sort of schooling me how we can use technology to reach out to people better. So, Yasin, do you want to introduce yourself?
I don't know how to introduce myself, Moana, to be honest.
Tell them who you are, where you're from, what you do, your family.
Okay, so my name's Yasin. I think I grew up in a similar locality, or the same locality actually, to where Moana Harun grew up. Just quite a few years younger than him. Um, Professionally, I'm a statistician by trade, um, and the way that I describe myself, and I had to do this recently, which is why I can call upon it. I call myself a hobby collectionist, Moana.
Okay.
And the reason I call myself a hobby collectionist is because I dip between hobbies. Like every 6 months to 6 to 9 months, I'll start a new hobby. So I did. You know that I did archery for quite a while, don't you?
Yeah.
So when I was in
Well, you never
university,
invited me, so I'm a bit upset. But anyway,
to be honest, I'm actually planning on starting again in the garden.
okay.
The only thing is the initial investment to start doing archery, it costs quite a lot. So I need to get down to actually paying for all the equipment and getting all of it. But inshallah, once I do, um, I'll give you a shout. But the latest thing that I did, I don't know if you know this, Mona, I made my own watch.
You made your own watch, and is it still working? Does it still tell you the time?
So you can see it here.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is
I
the,
just have
this
a
is the,
phone now. I can tell the time on my phone. But yeah,
but this is the watch I made. What do you
so
think?
you made it yourself.
Yeah. All the component parts came like in a box, and
Okay.
I made it all. So the movement is an automatic movement, so it doesn't use a battery. All the
Good.
hands came separately. The dial, the face, that came separate. The case is separate. Inside, there's different inserts and things that all need to go together. It's very
Hmm.
intricate. Requires a lot of patience.
Good.
But I think the most recent thing is we've just started a podcast ourselves. So if you're watching and you aren't already and you haven't seen the podcast that I'm involved in at the moment, then please do go check it out. It's called the Arc of Thoughts podcast. Um,
So please do sign up to that one. They've only got 2 members at the moment, I think, but we need more. So
we're almost at 100 more now.
you're 100. Okay, that
Yeah.
must have been me doing signing up 99 times,
Mm,
probably in different accounts. But yeah, I hope you're the best in that one, inshallah.
inshallah.
So you're a statistician. You deal with numbers basically.
Hmm.
Okay. So yeah, this
So
is go on,
I got a question.
go on.
So right at the start, just before we introduced each other, you mentioned about the use of new camera equipment and new um, microphone equipment,
Hmm.
and essentially it's for propagating the deen.
Hmm.
But what's your opinion about the utilization of new technology or new technologies or
Hmm.
new ways and new methods of transmitting the religion?
Look, look throughout Islamic history, world history. People have used technology. In the time of the Prophet ﷺ, there was no paper. We all read books now. Would you say everything that's behind me is a way that we can't acquire knowledge through? Right now, we acquire knowledge through books. Obviously, now we have tablets. So there would have been a time not so long ago where people would have asked questions. They did ask questions about writing on paper, writing verses of the Quran on paper and printing them and so forth.
Mhm.
Right? That's been used. Um, so yeah, um, that's worth bearing in mind as well. So as long as you're using it for you're using it for the benefit of humankind, what's the issue? I don't see an issue with it. So technology has always been something that we should be using for the benefit of humankind. It's for me, it's a simple question. It's a very straightforward question. Answer as well to it.
A fair point. We have a comment. I'm Mash. Yeah, we are based in England.
Yeah, it is a bit late, but we don't sleep. We stay awake, so that's fine.
The kids are asleep.
If you want to. Yeah, the children are asleep, but we can stay awake. Nothing to stop us from. It's a bit weird. Someone asking you, it's a bit late when you know they're on late as well. So yeah. So your question's been answered, Yasin. Yeah, we shouldn't be afraid of embracing whatever's out there, as long as it's benefiting people, okay, and it's not causing harm. La darar wa la dirar. We don't cause harm, and we don't, we don't harm people. So, as a principle, it's all permissible, as long as you find explicit, unless you find explicit evidence that saying it's impermissible. So yeah, this is how people learn. I mean, I must admit, I am a dinosaur. I love reading books. I don't like watching TV much or YouTube much, but I've come to a slow realization that this is the way we reach out. One of the main ways that we can reach out to people. Because most people don't read books. Most people can't sit and listen for a long time. Yes, Sadia's asked a good question about permissibility, right? Images, you have people talk about images and so forth. But yeah, that's a fair question. But for me, for me, that ship has sailed already. That ship has sailed a long time ago. So we need to use it in an effective way. It's not for everybody, I admit. So it's not for everybody, but as long as we maintain a high level of decorum, high level of discourse, we maintain respect for one another, we do it in a professional way. I mean, if you're going to do it, you do it with ihsan. You do it the best way possible. Anything else, Yasin? That's a good question from Sadia, by the way. Jazakallah for that question.
Definitely. So there's a person in the comments asking about what we do during the day. We do podcasts and streaming during the evenings, but what do we do?
Yeah, this is like more just relaxing. So we've got two questions. We've got a question here from Sadia again. Audiobooks or ebooks? The Gujarati in me says paperback, but I love books. I mean, I just buy books as much as I can. Audiobooks, I have a Amazon Audible account. I do have an Amazon Audible account. So when I'm tired and I can't read anymore, I'll just put on my headphones. I actually have some headphones here. I just put them on and go for a walk or lie in bed and listen to ebooks. I always have about 5 or 6 books on the go there. Ebooks, I don't read as much. I prefer paperback or PDFs, and audiobooks, yeah, all the way. I have an Amazon Audible account. Do we have any other jobs? Well, I have a job. I'm a full-time father, husband, 3 daughters, full-time father, academic, try to be an academic, try to write clever things if I can. So yeah. I recommend to read. There's so much to read. I just can't tell you, what to read. Just there's so much you can read. Just develop an interest in reading.
So I think the point to mention about this is when you're talking about recommendations to read, it doesn't have to be. I mean, my view is it doesn't necessarily have to be Islamic. Just reading,
Yeah.
I remember we had a conversation once where we talked about even just reading fiction. There's benefit in even just reading fiction in the development of a person's language, understanding of grammar, picking up new vocabulary. Just go with whatever interests you.
Yeah.
If there's particular topics that you're interested in and you want advice on recommendation for a book, then that's different. But in general, pick whatever you fancy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think another thing actually, Mona, is how to read. How to read is a skill in itself,
Yeah.
because sometimes it can be quite daunting sometimes when you pick up a book and you think to yourself, I need to read this book cover to cover.
No, there's you never do that. What you do, it depends. So if you're reading a book, for example, to write an academic article, then you have to read it thoroughly, right? And because people are going to scrutinize it. But if there's ways to read, I mean, the best book that I would recommend to teach you, if you like, how to read, is Mortimer's book, How to Read a Book. But it's like anything. It's like sports. It's like going to the gym. You just got to get into it, get a feel for it, and eventually you'll learn how to skim books, how to scan books, how to find what you're looking for in books. And you get over time, you get better at it, but it takes time. There's no shortcut to it. There's no easy route to it. But once you get into it, I think there's very few things in the world that are more pleasurable than reading. If I'm really honest with you, if I'm genuinely honest with you, being around books, and really exercising the mind, and being able to think creatively, it's very, very important. Yeah, thank you, Sadi. There are, yes. So there's different types of reading, right? So Mortimer's book is really, really useful. And it depends if it's a technical book, if it's a book of prose, if it's a book of reference, because there's different types of books. So you need to know how to approach those books.
If not, just go for a bit of culture and read a book on Sherlock Holmes.
Just read broadly. I mean, obviously, everybody has their specialism, but read broadly. Read a bit of history, read a bit of philosophy, read a bit of theology, a bit of fiction. Just read broadly. Just have a broad outlook, and so that's the way. And you'll find things that you just genuinely find interesting. Do you class ISIS? That's a silly question. We're not even going to get into all of this stuff. Focus on your akhirah. Focus on you getting your salvation. Focus on self-rectification. Don't get involved in nonsense. Build a better world for people. Yeah. Part of asking questions is asking a good question, is knowing how to ask a question, and if it's a relevant question, right? It's very, very important. And part of answering the question is whether that question even needs to be answered.
I think, to be honest, just very quickly to combine the two questions that have been mentioned previously into one, a recommendation for a book would be Prince Ghazi bin Muhammad's A Thinking Person's Guide to Our Times. He has a series called A Thinking Person's Guide and different titles, but one of them is called A Thinking Person's Guide to Our Times. And as far as I remember, inside of that book, he has an annex that he's included on the crisis of ISIS. So that's probably going to help point you in the right direction. You can have a read of that. It's published by Turath, who are good friends of yours, I believe, Mohan Harun.
I'm good friends with everybody.
Yeah.
I try to maintain friendship with everybody. Unless you try and be nasty to me, then I'll come back and be nasty to you. Otherwise, I'm friends with everybody. Yeah. So yeah, it's been nice. I mean, this is our first session. We don't know how to do this yet, so we haven't worked out how often we're going to do this or the format's going to be. But this is just the beginning, I hope, of better quality, high quality content. Do subscribe to what Yasin is doing also, and I'm sure he'll benefit as well. He's someone that shows a lot of promise, enthusiasm, energy. So my message to everyone always is that go out there and do good work. Don't get involved in negative work. Don't be negative. Don't get involved in silly things. Focus on doing good work. Leave good things behind for people to benefit from, right? And if you can continue to do that, then you're improving the lives for other people. The prophets, when they came to this world, they were doing that. They tried to make a world a better place, and focus on what's important, which is Allah says in the Quran, وَأَنَّ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ الْمُنْتَهَى, that the idea is that we want to reach our Lord, we want to reach our Creator and seek His pleasure. So that's our primary, ultimate purpose. everything else should fit into that. Anything else, Yasin? Or should we call it a day? It's probably your bedtime now. You're probably going to look after your little one. Yasin's got one at the moment, very young one. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your new addition to your family, please? Just a little
I
bit.
mean, there's not much to say apart from he sleeps quite a lot. He
Okay.
requires to be changed quite often.
Okay.
He's growing very fast, Mana. Very fast.
Yeah.
Currently he is approximately 6 weeks old.
Mm-hmm.
He's already pretty much growing out of 3 to 6 months outfits. But I'll tell you what, Mana. You know the gift that you got us for him?
Yeah.
So you got us like 3 short sleeve sort of sleep suits.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that we were going to get this like batch of heat wave weather?
No.
Because like honestly it was ideal. They just kept getting washed and coming out and back onto him and washed and back onto him.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, we didn't know. But usually we have decent summers. This year it's been really good. Alhamdulillah. Very good summer so far. A bit of rain coming soon, but I think we still got good weather coming along, inshallah.
Yeah.
So that's promising. And the summer nights in the UK are amazing. I love the summer evenings. I look forward to them every year. I'm not a winter person, I must admit. And that's when people meet me, I'm probably looking a little bit more miserable. But I must admit, I'm not a winter person. So yeah, I'm more of a summer person. So you'll see me glowing and jumping and enjoying the weather in summer, less so in winter. But hey, you know, swings and roundabouts, as they say. Yeah. So I think we should end here. It's just been a warm up session to test out the mic, test out the camera, test out everything. I think we're ready to go now. Things are working well, inshallah. Someone wants to ask questions. You can ask questions, but one question. We'll give an exception to one person. This isn't a fatwa website or anything. We're just having a chat. We're just you know, if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me. But we're not going to start making this into some sort of you know, a mudslinging session where people just, you know, attack one another. None of that. There's going to be ground rules set up. We're going to have respectful dialogue, respectful conversations, real conversations, dignified conversation, optimistic conversations. Isn't that right, Yasin?
The problem is, Moana, is, you know, with me sat next to you, sometimes the light of the person that's next to you or next to someone has an impact on the person who's receiving. And I feel like I'm kind of selling a lie over here with wearing a thobe and wearing a topi. I think I need to go get my t-shirt or my
you need to get a t-shirt on
to make sure people are aware that I'm not a scholar. I'm a random
None of
person.
us are scholars. We're just learning. We're students of knowledge. That's what we are. We're all students of knowledge. We're all learning, and that's very, very important to have humility in your search for the truth, right? Pride and arrogance is not for the believer. Humility is important, being humble. Training imams, mental health, big question, excellent question. I don't think there is. I think you have to do it through organizations yourself. You have to approach organizations. It's something that we're looking at in my postdoctoral research project as well. So hopefully we can come up with some solutions. But it has been highlighted as an important issue with which imams do need training on. So yeah.
I think, you know, this topic is a really, really interesting topic, Marna. Mental health issues. Sometimes I think what tends to happen is within the Muslim community, it's been something that's been sidelined, been put to one side, and as the brother has mentioned, the training of imam scholars, the training of Muslims within mental health issues, suicide, etc., doesn't exist within our own communities, as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of need to outsource to other organizations. But it's interesting that, in fact, there was a point in time where we were at the forefront of mental health awareness.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really good Instagram page called Stanford Muslim Mental Health,
Mm-hmm.
and they show some facts and figures and some information um, about raising awareness about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
It might be something that you might want to look into.
Yeah. And maybe we could at some point get someone on, to talk about mental health issues from the Muslim community. I'm sure I know there are a number of professionals that could come in and talk about various aspects. We could make that a theme. We could make a month where, we just have 4 or 5 sessions where we just talk about mental health and we get people in. We could do that.
Blogging Theology, you congratulations on your 1,000 subscribers, Mona.
Yeah, 1,000 lovely subscribers. I don't have 1 million or 2 million, but I'm happy with 1,000 that I have. It's a small little family, but I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I think the advantage of having me on today, Mona, is you can notice the difference between the camera you used to have, which is we both have the same laptop, don't we? So the camera that you used to have compared to the equipment that you now have side by side.
Yeah.
Um,
Huge contrast, isn't it? I mean, it's definitely worth the investment. I mean, I'm glad the brother, I'm not going to mention his name because I haven't got permission, but I'm glad this brother gave me a good shake and said, look, you need to get some good cameras, you need to get some good equipment. He's actually asking me to get a lot more, but I don't have a tree in a garden that produces money, so I need to be careful. But
when you do, let me know.
Sorry, yeah, when I do,
when you do, let me know.
I get invaded, probably. So yeah, we can talk about mental health. We could talk about various issues. We can have themes where we can maybe bring people in to the conversation. Inshallah, we'll do that as well. Shall we stop there, Yasin?
Yeah, I think it's
yeah, we've got Hamza Webb. Yeah, so Hamza, you're welcome on board. We could get Hamza on, and you could talk about your experiences, obviously from a perspective as someone who is a practitioner and what you do. Obviously, you need to respect laws when it comes to anonymity, but you can come on the show and we can talk about these things. I mean, Yasin can run it with you, or we can run it together, but we talk about these topics, right, Yasin?
Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be interesting to gauge how much interest there is in starting something, not necessarily just centered around mental health, but in general.
Yeah.
If somebody does have something that'd be interesting in us starting, or Mona Haroon in particular starting, feel free to leave a comment behind, and we can pick up on them comments later.
Yeah. But it's something I'm interested in. I mean, we can talk about it. I mean, my focus at the moment is on other things, but I'm happy to have conversations about these things as well. No problem.
If not, like we said, you can outsource it.
We can do that. Yeah, we can work together. Yeah. So Hamza's saying that. Yeah. So even that's Hamza. Look, your perspectives will be very, very useful. For all of us, especially given that you're a practitioner. You're in the field. So yeah, definitely, we'd love to have you on. We could do something, inshallah. Right. I'm gonna try and get back to some work, and then me and Yasin, or you guys can get in touch with us. Suggestions about how we can make this more effective, maybe a weekly thing, a regular thing, where we have sessions like this, and we get people on. We talk about things. People can ask questions, generic questions, and we can really, reach out to people and try and help people, and also help ourselves on this journey. Until then, Yasin, do you want to say something before we finish?
Check out our podcast that we've just started.
Check out Yasin's podcast. They've just started, so they're still taking baby steps. So do help them out. In our deen, Allah says in the Quran, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى. Assist one another in righteousness and piety. Right. So when someone's doing something good, try and help them. Try and encourage them. Try and motivate them. Try and give them a good advice. This is part of our religious tradition that we try and help people as much as we can so that we get a reward for it, right? If someone goes out there and does something good or starts something good that benefits humankind, we may never even hear about it ever again, but you're sleeping at home, you're getting the reward. You're out with your family, you're getting the reward. Why? Because you planted those seeds. So always, always, always help people. Like I said, avoid negativity. I've said this time and time again. Stay away from conversations, stay away from people that spread hate, spread division or negatives. Stay away from those sort of conversations, right? Focus on what you need to do. At the end of the day, we need to present our book of deeds to our Creator, and let that book of deeds be a heavy book in your right hand, right? Washabul Yameen, right? The people of the right, people who will be given their deeds in their right hand. And you want to stand up and show to people that, you know what, look at my deeds because of what I did in this world, the opportunities that I had. So that's my message to everybody, my main message to everybody tonight. We're going to stop and we'll all see you soon, inshallah. Stay safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.